Good evening. Good evening. Mm. Hiya, mate. Hi, Andy. Hope you're all doing well this evening. How's the sub coming along? I need to, because I've now moved all the cards, or I'm moving all the cards from my house to the storage unit we've got for the grading club. I'm just finding cards everywhere that need grading. I just picked up this, which I'll probably grade to 99. It's a little off center, but I suppose it's only for PC anyway, so not too bad. But I just had that lying around. Just lying around. Got loads just lying around that I need to shift. I've got a Gravenberch Merlin Chrome to 99. Looks in great condition. Do you reckon it's worth grading? It's in great condition. Do you reckon it's worth grading? And if so, which company? So Gravenberch 299. So that's non-auto. I'm guessing then. Merlin Chrome. I mean, for me, it's at the stage now where I think most things modern, where it's a rookie player, it's a rookie card where it's numbered. There's gonna be a buyer at some sort of level, and people have to understand the market, even the market's in the bin at the moment, which I'm sure we'll get onto. But uh, for me, let me go back. With anyone who's grading, there has to be a reason why. Why is it that you're grading the card? That's the most important thing. Why do you want to grade the card? If it's to encapsulate it, it'll be a different answer to then say if you want to flip it. So I'm going to assume that it's because you want to sell. So if you want to sell, it's not something that you'd send on. It's not something that you'd send on PSA regular or express, because you won't get the money back if the aim is to sell the card, or you won't get your money back within the short term if you're looking to sell within the next 2-3 months. Categorically, you won't get your money back. But one of the lower levels, PSA value, SGC, if it looks nice in the slab, if you think it looks nice in the slab, I think either one of them, I think, will be suitable for a Gravenberch to 299, in my opinion. Even CSG at 1250 a card, I think that's a good shout. So yeah, those would be my options. You can leave that in my pile if you want. Amazing Saka card, definitely grade CSG for the Saka. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not even. I'm genuinely not sure, because it's my Arsenal, my red. I like the red border of the PSA, so I like when it kind of matches up with the color. So, I've got other Arsenal. I've got other Saka. My other Saka cards are PSA, so I would probably do PSA. But well, actually, you probably won't even be able to go value. You'll probably have to do it depending on the grade. Depending on the grade, it might have to be economy. But I'm in no rush with that one. So what did I? So I wanted to talk about. There was nothing really specifically I wanted to talk about. I just kind of wanted to come on. I want to do more lives. So I want to try and get back into the routine of, no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to try and come on, and talk about something. Hopefully, usually there's a topic that I can talk about. But what I want to get to is that a lot of people are kind of worried about the market. A lot of people are elite, and when I say the market, again, not everyone's in it to buy and sell. I absolutely get that, 100% get that. But the majority of people who have been buying and selling, there's a portion of people who are worried about the market falling, not being able to get the money back what they've paid for cards, all that kind of thing. And it's the same with any market where you buy and sell something. I mean, I've heard, I'm not into crypto, but I heard that market's in the bin at the moment. If I understood the crypto, I would be in crypto, but I haven't got the brain capacity to understand cryptocurrency. So I kind of wanted to touch on my thoughts, which mean absolutely fuck all. My thoughts on the market and my strategy for buying and selling, and kind of what the next 6 months looks like for me. So, and then if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to ask away, or even present what your thoughts are on the current market. If you hear anything of interest, which probably not, but if you hear anything of interest of what I've said, yeah, let me know in the comments, and we can have a conversation, because that's what this is about. I like to interact, and I like to answer, or at least facilitate a conversation to help people get to the answer of whatever it is that they're answering. So, thanks for the advice, mate. I was thinking SGC, but I don't mind waiting, to be honest. So might just go with a lower PSA service. Yeah. I mean, the thing is with the because the PSA lowest service is open now, so it's 29 through me. It's £29.50, and SGC is £28.50. So it's really similar in price. Whereas before, 2 months ago, even let's say last year, December last year, the options were SGC at £28, or yeah, £28, or PSA at £90. Now it's literally similar, but the only thing is with PSA, you're going to be waiting 4 months for that card to come back, whereas with SGC, you're going to be waiting 4 weeks for the card to come back. So there's a big difference in turnaround times, and in turnaround time. So it's then down to preference. If you're looking to sell, well, obviously, if you go to PSA, you can't sell within 4 months. If you go to SGC, you'll be able to flip it in a month. So it really depends. Do you know when the PSA ticket will be heading out? Which ticket, Andy? I know we had a few. The all tickets will be going this week. So I suppose that doesn't really matter, because that answers the question. That answers the question. So they all were going this week. We needed to wait for the lower services to open up, because it went ridiculous. Now it's gone back to normal, but at the same time, it's still going to take a very long time when it's at PSA, because again, they've not really communicated this, and I don't know why they would. Even though they're operating at huge levels, and the staffing levels are huge, it seems that if you're grading a card, just grading a card, this is not PSA obviously, but if you're just getting the numerical grade for the card, it goes really fast. It's going really fast through the system, so they've got a lot of people actually just grading the cards. But when it comes to authenticating autographs, or match tickets, or pack grading, it's taking a considerable amount of time. So I think, again, just my 2 cents, I think that's just due to it being more specialized. So that area of the business isn't as defined as the grading side. So that's why it's taking way longer for tickets, autographs, all those to be authenticated first, and then but the grading side is fantastic. So if you're looking to submit tickets, getting your autographs authenticated, memorabilia, or anything like that, it's taking a very long time for it to go through the system. And I just think it's because their staffing levels for those items aren't as in depth as the grading side. And it kind of comes. I'm going off a tangent now, as I do. It kind of comes to the consistency of the grading for me as well. So I mentioned that PSA consistency is all over the place, and that's due to, if you've got someone starting today grading, they're not going to have the same level of experience of someone who's been grading for 15 years as some people at PSA will have been. So if you've got this grader who doesn't really understand the set, you're gonna get an inconsistency, because part of grading is subjective. And the subjective part, that means, and it says in PSA's T's and C's, it says it's down to the individual grader of what they believe that card should get in terms of eye appeal. So whatever they see, what you see could be different to what I see, could be different to what they see. So that's where the inconsistency comes in. Whereas when it's the autograph, obviously it's authenticating an autograph, it's authenticating the packet. Like, I don't even authenticating a packet, authenticating a match ticket is going to be way different to the grading scale that they, not way different, but it's different to the grading scale of just grading cards. So that's why for me there's so many inconsistencies on the grading side, but you probably won't get many on the tickets and autograph side, because those people are probably more experienced. So that's my kind of thoughts on it. Again, PSA have not come out. I said this, I could be completely wrong, but those are my thoughts anyway. Yeah, no worries, Andy, mate. Just buying, Martin says. Just sent you off some Chelsea PC cards on value tier today, and not too worried about them coming back later. And Scott, that's also that's like a really good point in terms of PC items now. PC, like I've got items that I'm sending to PSA because I'm not bothered about them. 4 months is nothing. Like I'm happy to wait 4 months. If I know it's going to be 4 months, I'm happy to wait 4 months for it to come back. And at £29.50, that's, for me, that's a decent enough price. Hopefully, I think it's going to get a bit lower once they probably settle a bit and they know the demands are coming in. I think it does get a bit lower, the price, but probably again maybe similar to what they did with Economy. Economy started in January and now we're in June. It might be another 6 months, 5-6 months before they maybe change the price. It might be sooner. I don't know. They might do something because the Nationals coming up, so they might have another big release by then. Who knows? But I do think that price will come down a little bit, which again for people who just collect for the PC, that's going to be awesome. So yeah. Can we send Pokemon to CGC through the grading club? Yes. I actually just got confirmation from him today that I'll be able to do CGC and CSG. The only thing is a separate process. I have to do them separately. So there need to be a minimum of 20 Pokemon or 20 TCG cards to go through. Not per person, just in total. At least 20 to go. Oh, or is it at least 50? At least 50 to go on the bulk tier through CGC. So I am going to try and promote it from tomorrow because, well, for those of you who are here, I might as well say, because I'm going to put a post out anyway. Anyone who's going to the London Card Show, if you, I've basically been speaking to CSG, who are absolutely awesome, by the way. But that's another podcast. But they are fantastic in terms of the way they run CSG, or again, the parent company CGC, the way they run it, the way they communicate. I've had nothing but good experiences with them. Anyway, I was talking with them last week, and they've I basically told them that the London Card Show is coming up on the 23rd of July. And by the time we submit, it's only going to be about 3-4 weeks out. So I asked the question if they were able to guarantee that they come back for the London Card Show, just because I think a lot of people will want them. I think it'll be a great showpiece for them as well to get a lot of slabs through to hand to people at the show. And they confirmed that they would be happy on this occasion, because it is the London Card Show, it's our biggest show, to expedite CSG. My order for CSG, so that people will have them in hand for the London Card Show, which for me is a big thing, and that's pretty huge to say that they're willing to do that. And then not only that, if you are going to the London Card Show, you can also have 10%. You can also have a 10% discount. So that £12.50 per card comes at £11.25 or whatever it is, which again for me is it's insane, isn't it? Let's be honest. But I'll release that tomorrow. So I'm sending maybe 50 to 100 myself to CSG, because I like the slabs. Like I've got a few here, which I was just going through because I was like, what am I going to do with these? But I really like the slabs personally. I like the label. I like everything. So there you have it, an exclusive. See what we're doing here. Exclusives on this channel. So and again, we'll come on to the reason why, because I need to start having a bit of structure to these shows. So we'll come back to why I really rate CSG. Just answer some questions. One big question I have. This from Matt. One big question I have: if I have a card on eBay and someone sends an offer of about 55, 60 and a note saying they can't go any higher, do I accept or should I hold out for the cash I want? Oh, that's a great question. I love that. Yes, that's a great question. Because I'm one of those guys as well. I will say to be fair, my usual, because I know I'm going in lower on the first initial bid. So if that's his first bid, I would say reject and counter anyway, because my initial thing would be, let's say it's £100. I'm going to offer 55 or 60, right? As my first bid. Kind of knowing that it's going to get rejected. But my top will probably be maybe 75. So I'll then go back, because they'll, let's say, counter with 90. The seller will counter with 90. I'll go back at 70. And then in that message, because I know that person's interacting now, because they're active, they've messaged or they've done an offer, I was like, okay, I've got you now. I'm then going to say to you, okay, I'm only gonna 70 is as high as I'll go, or 70, 75 maybe might be the highest I go from the 100, right? So I'll say 70 is the highest I'll go. I can't afford it. Really nice card, would love to have it, but based on comps, based on where the market is, I don't know. I may come up with a silly reason, but then I will say that. So then I would say maybe, I'm gonna say maybe 6, but probably 7 out of 10 times, it works, or yeah, it works, or I get something a lot close. I feel. I mean, I don't know what the other person's thinking, but I feel I get a lot closer to the valuation that I'm willing to pay, because I think everyone and the negotiations is always going to be a two-way street. If I'm putting something in on eBay, I'm not going to put it at the lowest price that I'm willing to accept. I just won't. I don't flexing like I'm the big I am here. I'm not in by any way, shape or form. But I don't need to. For me, I don't need to sell that car. I'm not going to be stupid with evaluation, but there's always going to be someone what's going to want a lower price. Even if I listed it at the lowest price, there's someone who will probably try and get it at £5 off, £2 off. So with that being said, I will list it as, again, if we go with the 100 example, knowing that I would probably accept 80 for it on all best offer. So then if someone comes and offers me 75, I'll know, well, since I'm at 100 and they're at 75 and we're willing to accept 80, I'll go to 85 or I'll go to 90, because I know they're all for £5 difference, $5 difference, that they're probably going to pay whatever that is. So yeah, hope that answers that question. You've got to be it's not even about being sneaky, it's just about understanding how people are willing to negotiate. I know there's people who there's been cards up for £300. I was talking to Alex today, and we was talking about a card, and like the people now, because of the way the market is, that card will have been sitting on eBay for 300, might only be worth 100 now, or it might only be worth 150 now. So I'm definitely going to offer you lower, because I know you'll be panicking that valuation is going to keep going down, which it probably will keep going down, and we'll get to the market in a bit. Remind me to talk about my thoughts on the current market, because I know I'm going to forget, and there's a few questions to ask and answer. So, but that's kind of my thought process, is that Well, obviously, I'm going to try and get the lowest price because I don't know what your mindset is. If you're looking to sell a card, you may really, really need to sell that card. You may really need a sale. So if that card's up at 1,000 and I offered you 600, but comps at 800, there might be no one. The comps might be 800, but there'd be no one. There's no one willing to pay 800, and it's been on your eBay for months now. So you might be willing to accept 600. Then I've made a profit because I'm then willing to hold that card for longer than what that person is. Again, it's all in the negotiations. So right now I'm on 1809. You know how I get with answering questions. So sorry, I will catch up. Joe, evening. Hope you enjoy Harry Styles tomorrow. Even Aaron, what's better, auto cards or numbered cards? On card, autos are the best. But if it was between a sticker auto or a really nice short numbered parallel, I may go for the short numbered parallel, to be honest. Let me see if I've got any here that I like the design of. Depending on the design. Have I got any here? This is not mine. This is someone who subbed this card, but will be going out tomorrow. I love the red on this. This is a really nice card. It's only $2.99, but this is a really nice card. So for me, on card autos, super short printed, like 25 or less, then sticker autos. I think. I don't know if everyone agrees with me on that, but those are my thoughts. But obviously, not just any short numbered card. The design needs to really pop, like golds, papridashes, those kinds. Yeah, those are my favourites. Hi, Aaron. The installment plan will only cover PSA value subs, right? But I can still submit a mix to subs. I can still submit a mix sub, some on Express, some on plan, on those values. So yeah. So just for anyone who's wondering, as well. So this installment plan or payment plan is something that I've wanted to do for a while now. PSA are a company where you pay at the end of the process. You don't pay at the beginning of the process. But for someone who's done this for over a year now, well over a year now actually, and started by taking payments at the end, from a business perspective, it makes no sense and it doesn't work because people are delayed. People are delayed sometimes with paying. Sometimes people don't pay, as I found out. So it's a lot easier to begin the process right at the beginning and take that payment, so I know when it's ready to pay, then we can make the payment. But with the payment plan, it's something that I wanted to introduce for a while now. I just need to get the right setup. I want to give people the opportunity to, especially when the cards are so long at PSA. So 3-4 months is a long time, and it's a long time to pay really early. And I can't keep switching the process. I can't do, I'll do it at the end of the process for this, I'll do it at the beginning of the process for that, I'll do it in the middle of the process for that. So I wanted something what's quite clear. So it's either you pay in full or you pay in the 3 months leading up to when the card's coming back. And I think it's going to work, but it's only going to be available this month as well, and it's only for PSA value because, again, I need to it needs to be in a process, right? So it's a manageable process, and there's not 4 or 5 different outstanding subs. It needs to be manageable. So that's why it's restricted, first of all, to the PSA value. And then it's restricted only for this submission. So it won't happen next submission. We'd have to wait until the 3 months or until this PSA value service is back. So, and then if it's a successful pilot at the end of the 3-4 months, and we think it's worked, then we'll allow other subs to go that route. So yes, you can send in whatever you want: PSA Express, PSA Super Express, PSA Regular, but it'll have to be a minimum of 10 on PSA value to reach that threshold for the payment plan on the pay in 3 scheme. And it's no, at the moment it's no additional fees because I'm not using Klarna or I'm not using anywhere else. It's just going to be, we're going to set it up in our system. Me and Ronnie are going to set it up, and then it'll be an invoice sent each month. So it's just exactly the same price, but it's split into 3. Again, maybe later on, if we do Klarna or somewhere like that, we probably would have to add on a percentage, because I think they take something stupid like 3.9%, which is ridiculous. Anyway, Jack, how you doing, man? I think the market is just normalizing. Collectors will always want to buy cool and unique cards. An auto from a player who has 1,000 releases every year is always going to struggle long term. Oh, let me just read the second part. For each auto or parallel release, the supply cranks up. Yeah, and this is one thing that I think people don't necessarily understand, because it's so new. Collecting so new. It's like there's 2 worlds. Like, there's people who've been collecting for absolutely decades, right? There's people who collect and put and don't grade, cards at all. There's a whole different side to trading cards, Pokemon cards. It's a whole different side that people who are in this flipping world just beginning to realize what how big the kind of market is. Now, the people who are collectors are always going to be here regardless. So they're willing to wait until prices come down. They're willing to wait to get the cards that they like. But the people who are flipping the cards need a need in the profit, a needing to make this money, and then they get bored. I've seen so many people leave the hobby because they are not making what they think they're going to make in. But everyone who I knew from the beginning who was a collector is still here because they're always going to be a collector. Whereas people who I knew at the beginning who were in it to just flip cards, some of them are no longer here. So yeah, I think as well it's normalizing, but as well, so this gets onto the first point that I wanted to really mention, was about people who this happened last year. So last year, and it's like people, not like they're forgetting, but literally the same thing happened at this period last year, because this was about the Euros. Am I right? Was it Euros last year or was it year before? No, it was Euros last year. But it was the end of the season. So the same thing happened the year before. End of the season, there's this dip. Now, this may be a more increased deep than it was, but there's always this quiet period where nothing's happening. It's literally happened the same for the last 2-3 years that I've been in it. Anyway, it may have happened prior to that. It may have happened. I think it does happen in other sports as well. So it's like it's normal, this dip. Now, how low it goes, that's a different question. How much it will rise, again, that's a different question. But it's that same adage, that old adage of just buy what you like. Because I forgot who I was listening to. I was listening to another podcast. I can't remember who it was, and they were saying the exact same thing. There was like, buy what you like, because at the end of the day, if you like it, there's a chance someone else is going to like it. So there's a chance in time someone else is going to buy that card off you or want that card for a price. So if you buy what you like, which is what I do, like I like to sell. I don't. I very rarely sell. No, not that I don't like to sell. I just don't have time to sell. So I amass cards. I amass a lot of cards like this. I've got these 2 cards, which absolutely have no business being in my collection. I have no idea who he is. I am not a Villa fan, although Angel was an absolute bowler. They have no business being in my collection, but they're there, and I've not sold them yet. And that's kind of my, like, I've got Kevin De Bruyne. that's just my thing. I don't sell. So I come from I talk from a perspective of buying and selling, but I actually don't sell that much. I'm not really, which I need to. But anyway, that's a different story. Do you send cards from old CSG slabs to be reslabbed? Yes, this is the last submission that they will allow that to happen though, because it ends on the 30th of June. Where you can, well, I think I think you'll be able to continue to rehold it, but it might be more expensive. So right now, to get that in the new label, which is this label, so from that to that, currently costs $5. I think I charge $4.50. I think I charge $4.50. But that's only for this last submission. Otherwise, after that they stop it, or it'll go to an increased price. So if you do want to, so Bithead, if you do want to get it in and get some reholders into the new label, I'd suggest doing it. Now I'm doing it with that Kevin De Bruyne. I'll be doing it with that one, and I've got one or two others somewhere that I'm going to be doing it with too. Is Pulisic the LeBron James of... Is Pulisic the LeBron? That's what I hear. That's what I hear. I hear that. Strangely from an American perspective, but that's what I hear is the. I love that. I love that show as well. That's one of my favorite shows. Do we need a discussion about Bits as a marketplace? Oh, I think we do. I actually want to. Yeah, I want to have a word with you guys who do Bits, because I've not got the app. I have no idea, other than what I speak to Martin, Gus. I know Mitch has been on there, but I've not actually done Bits myself. Again, it's just me and selling. I need to get better at it. I would say I'm on the fence. I've not used it. I can't say it's good. I can't say it's bad. But I think it's a indication for me. An indication is like what I see on social media, what I see on Instagram, and it just seems. It's just everything seems too early in the UK. Everything seems like we're not ready for it yet. We're not ready for things like Bits. We're not ready for discussing about markets and what value prices are. And it feels like we've been like this for about a year or so now. Again, a lot of new people have just come in, so you need to learn the basics first before you move on to the advanced stuff. Talking about markets and strategies and stuff like that. Or you just collect. But yeah, Bits is, like I said, Bits is an interesting thing. When I have more time, I'll look into it. But for me, it's just even Whatnot. Like when I go on Whatnot, and I've only ever bought a few things. The process seems absolutely, surreal. Is in simple. I only need to tap a button. The card's there. It's in my Gorilla ship. Fantastic, all good, really simple. But even when in the rooms that then I go in, and I'll just go in random rooms, like every room's got like maybe 30, 40 people, 50, 60 people, unless you're the big breakers on there, or the big people who have got, who get advertised, who may have hundreds or thousands in there. Everyone else seems to be really low, and that's in America. So when I then think of Bits, I was like, well, that's not going to be anywhere near their level. So yeah, but again, like I said, I don't know if that's the case. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. But like, what's the average amount of people in a Bits room in the UK? I don't know, 10, 20 max. But again, yeah, I just think it's not ready. So then the way I see it is then, okay. So if I'm putting that in Bits, and if I'm putting that in Bits, let's say I sell that for £1. That person who buys it either needs to be a Ravens fan, J.K. Dobbins fan, thinks the auto is cool, so it limits. So I'm then going from those 20 people. the amount of people that then want to buy this is probably low. You get, so the card then have to be decent to get the people in the room. So like I said, these are my next two, which may do all right. But then again, one day I may get. Like I said, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm trying shit now. Got to leave yourself some wiggle room. Always got to leave yourself some wiggle room, Jeff. Always, you are correct, sir. Always, you have to. That's what's the saying? You both parties, when you're entering a negotiation, both parties have got to leave a little uncomfortable, and that's the case. Like both of you got to think, but okay, we'll do this deal. So, yeah, you never go in at the exact price that you think. Like I don't think I've entered anything, in terms of like a negotiation where there's room to negotiate. Obviously, it's not like I'll pay for a train ticket and be like, oh, how about I give you a fiver? No, it's to London. That's £235. £10. So there's, where there is room for negotiations, I always there's no harm not to. But anyway, that's numbered autos, obviously, absolutely. Do you know what? I don't think I've got many low number. I've got my Trey Lance, I suppose. Trying to think. Not got many low numbered autos though. Got maybe 3, 4. Good advice, because I usually list at last comp, so maybe bump them up just a little. Always for me, like I said, for me, and like I said, this is me who doesn't sell often. Let me put that out there as well. It's me who doesn't sell often, so take my advice with a pinch of salt. But I try to apply logic where I can. If you're selling something, and let's say the last comp is 500, if you go at 550, let's say, or 525, the other person is going to check comps, so they're going to see the 500. So the max you're going to get is 500. There's nothing wrong with pushing it 525. Like, don't go stupid, because you don't want to be that guy or gal who like overprices everything. But again, my thing is, if I'm selling, you're always going to try and get a deal out of me. So why will I not try and get something out of you? Like, sometimes I don't understand that logic. People will absolutely take a deal, but when on the other side of it, you're trying to make money, they're like, oh, it's overpriced. It's just too overpriced. Like, I personally don't get that logic. Like, for me, it's eat or be eaten kind of thing. Like, if I'm going to make money on this card, I'm going to try and make as much as I can. If I need to come down because no one's buying at that price, then I lower my price. Simple as that. If it's £100 card and I start at 150 and no one buys, there's no views, that price is the wrong price and no one's going to buy it. So I lower the price. But I won't start at £90. I won't start at £100 just to sell, because again, I don't need to. I don't have to sell. And like I said, again, it's when you check comps, when you check auctions, what stuff roughly sells for. So again, me personally, I will always, if I see something that's $100, I may list it at $110, and see what buys, put all best offer, and usually someone will come in. I say usually. Again, usually. I don't know why I use the word usually. I don't sell anything. I need to start selling though. So that will come on to my kind of strategy for the next few months. Let me just get through the remaining messages. Yo man, have you received May SGC regular? Yeah, no, it's due in tomorrow. It's due in it was due in today or tomorrow. So hopefully it's here tomorrow. There's been a few issues with customs with FedEx. Like, I've got a package in FedEx in America that now asking for a VAT number for PSA, which they've never asked before, and they don't obviously have a VAT number. So that's something I'm dealing with. So no, is the answer. It should be here tomorrow. I'm hoping it's here tomorrow. It's 140 cards. Yeah, 140 cards. So it'd be nice to get them out the door ASAP. I'm sending Dan P. I'm sending you an auto card for submission to CSG. I think there should be a surcharge of $2 per the CSG site. That is correct. But there is no option on the submission form. Will this be added? So yeah, there's not a lot of people who asked for the auto grade for CSG. But if you want it, Dan, if you could just do me a favor and message us at on Instagram at the grading club or email support at the grading club and just say that you want the autograph graded, and that's fine. And we'd just convert that $2 into pounds. I won't charge anything extra on that one. So yeah, so you can so that's possible, mate. Aaron, my guy, hello. Greggles, hello, sir. Newly listed on US eBay is always a good option. Got some deals lately. A Haaland future stars to 50 for $7. Wow, nice. And a nice PC Joe Geldhart 25 Prism for 45. Yeah, that's good. US eBay is absolutely a different gravy. I was speaking to someone today. Can't remember who I was speaking to. Maybe Martin. Speaking to someone today, and there was like CSG slabs are going for like $1, $2. Like in America, they're not afraid to sell stuff below at the very least below the value of what it costs to slab. They just want to get rid, which that comes on to kind of the strategy that I'm hopefully going to employ for the London Card Show if I've got time to do it by the London Card Show. So I'm going to send off, let's say, 50 cards to CSG. Everything's going to be low. Obviously, it's going to be lowish end cards, and then everything's going to be a certain. So I then want like a certain price amount of slab. So it's going to be maybe 25 quid, 30 quid, 35 quid per slab. Again, depending on what the card range is, maybe 35 quid a slab, which is going to be super cheap. There's going to be a number of deals in there, but for me, the aim is to get 2-3 times the money I would for the slab. So then the person who's buying is going to get a deal because they'll probably be able to move it on more. But because CSG are so low in price, I'm then going to make 2-3x my money. Then I'll put that 2-3. I'll put that extra capital into maybe one card. Like I only want to. In terms of the buying and selling, obviously I've got my PC, but in terms of buying and selling, I only really want to deal in high-ish end cards because dealing at the lower end is really tough, because the low end market can crash considerably quick, and I suppose it's similar to penny stocks. And for anyone who knows penny stocks, like it's very volatile. You've seen cards go for Vlahovic, for instance, $2, $3, $4 for his rookie ticket 8 months ago. 4 months ago, 5 months, 3 months ago, it went to $100 for the rookie ticket. That's crazy increase. Whereas you go for the more higher end, it's more, it's less volatile. So there's more of a chance of it selling at that price and remaining around that price, but it's not going to go from $3,000 to $300,000, overnight. So I prefer in the more certain cards and deal with them than having to deal with the really low end market and having to deal with 300, 400, 500 cards a month to make it, a decent return. But everything can change. Easiest. Hi, mate. Mr. Kev. Hello, sir. looking forward to our meet next week. Oh, week today actually. Hope you well. Aaron, Facebook is having more sales for me than eBay, etc. at the moment. Do you know what? I just don't go on eBay anymore. Not for there's no reason why I don't, but I just not been on eBay for ages. If you're selling low end, let me know. Easiest to trade I'm is low to mid end cards. You get a faster return, and you said less risk. So for me, so so my strategy is, let's say I wanted to make £1,000, right? £1,000 per month. And I know I've spoken to a few people, and that's kind of a good amount that they'd like to make, whether they make it or not. Again, that's another conversation. But £1,000, I would rather have 10 cards and only have to move one card, because with that one card, or with those two cards, I'll be able to promote it a lot on social media. I'll be able to do it on eBay. I might be able to send it to auction. It's a lot less work for me. Whereas to get that £1,000 in the lower end, I'm having to sell 50, 60 cards. That's 50, 60 packages. That's 30 conversations. That's dealing with listing fees. That's dealing with all that. So for me, it's more about making it easier for me. And that would be in the higher end. Now, if you're, to Greg's point, if you and like Aaron deals with low end and does very well at the low end, and he's shit up on the stickers and the markets and knowing what prices go for and stuff like that. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm terrible at stuff like that. So, for me, my strategy is more to try and get into the higher end and only have to move 1 or 2 cards a month, rather than having to move 100 cards or cards and stickers a month. So that's where I want to get to. So to get there, it then comes back to this strategy, which is, for me, is to grade low to mid end and sell, not sell at ridiculous prices, because again, they're all going to be low end. They're going to be cards that I'm not really bothered about. I wish I had some examples. I think I might have moved into the unit, but like, it could be, let's say, for instance, it could be a card that raw sells for £5, £5 to £10, maybe. Raw sells for £5 to £10, and then with it graded at CSG, let's say if we take CSG as an example, it's only going to cost me £12.50. So let's say, for argument's sake, that's £22 in. So £10 for the card, because that's what I bought raw, or that's the value of it raw, and £12.50 graded. That's £22.50. So I will then be happy to sell that for £50 and double my money. Right, 10 of them, that's £500. Whereas that option wasn't available before with PSA, because PSA was 2-3x in terms of the price. In terms of the price it is now, with a $30 fee. So the low end wasn't an option 6 months ago. Low end wasn't an option 3 months ago. Now it is, with CSG being open, with PSA opening their lowest tier. It's an absolute game changer. So I do think there's absolutely a play in the low to middle end, especially in the UK. There's a massive play for low end cards. Me personally, I just want to get into the higher end cards and only deal with a few, just because I know, like, I wish I had more time, but because of the grading club, I don't really have that much time to scout deals as I used to. So I prefer to be able to handle fewer cards, but sell for a greater price than the lower end. But there is absolutely, oh my god, like, you can make a killing on the lower end if you're able to do the listings on eBay, send stuff to auctions, be in the Facebook groups, be in the Discords. There's so many deals to be had at the really low end. That if I had the time, I would absolutely do that. Absolutely. duh, 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 duh. More buyers for low end too, in my honest opinion. Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. In the UK, especially, there's always going to be more at the lower end because it's it's an easier access entry point. It's an easier entry point, so absolutely, there's going to be more buyers at that end, um, for sure, for sure. Like I struggle to sell mid high end slabs, whereas I can easily sell one low end card a day. Yeah, I think with the high end, there's again it can't just be any high end. It has to be you have to do the research into what high end and what's going to happen. Again, this is where being able to not necessarily predict a market, but um thinking, right, let's say if it was, I don't know, Pedri was getting a move to Barcelona, not Barcelona, getting a move to Man United, let's say, that it'll be a time when someone is going to be willing to buy a Pedri card. Uh, Again, it's buy the rumor, sell the news, sell the rumor, buy the news, something like that. One of the two. Buy the news, sell the news. I can't remember. Well, basically, you want to put, you want to be selling when they're talking about. Yeah, that's the right thing. Sell the news, buy the rumor. Sell the news. Sell the. Someone tell me what it is. I can't. I can't figure it out. I can't remember what it is in my own head. But you know what I mean. So what I'm trying to say is basically what you want to do is when there's talks of something happening, that's when you want to be able to sell. So at that high end or mid to high end, that's where people like to operate. Is like, okay, for instance, the um LeBron James logo, man. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's not a $6 million card, but there's so much news around it. There's so much um coverage. There's so much everything that everyone's interested in that card at that moment. So there has to be interest at that moment that of that player when that card should be selling. If that makes sense, I've kind of muddled everything up that I wanted to say. I'm trying to think of that adage in my head. Um, so there has to be a time. It's not, again, it's not just, oh well, I've got this high end Jaden Sancho 1 of 1 auto. It's 20 grand. Oh, I'm gonna sell it for 20 grand. It's not that. It has to be at a time that's appropriate to sell those cards, and you've got to know when those times are, because if you do operate in the higher end market, and for anyone that does, it's more consistent, and the people who operate in the higher end market, um, know the people who are in the higher end market, so you know what it is that they like. So you then, if you acquire one of those cards, they're likely to buy it off you, right? So, but whereas the lower end, it's just like, it can be a free for all. So again, it's different strategies for. It's not the same strategy for low end, mid end, high end. He's got a different strategy that you, in my opinion, need to operate. Again, it works a bit different in the UK because we don't have loads of people at the high end who are willing to pay money, which is probably why you don't see it. But these types of trades happen quite a lot in the US, where trades are probably 1,000 plus. In the UK, it's pretty much non-existent. But in the US, it happens. It happens a lot more. I remember speaking to someone at GTS, and Panini, and there was like places in China, they only buy high end, so they only deal with high end cards. Like literally, there's shops, factories where they're opening cards and they'll only keep the high end. Everything else gets chucked in a bin. So again, it's being able to be in those circles to know who and what to sell, right, if that makes sense. Da, 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 da. Chris, know my grades, but just want to see Connor in that SGC slab. Let's go. Sold over 1,500 worth of sticker packs. sold for over £1,500 worth of sticker packs and match attacks over the last month. There's your, it must be a lot. I wish I had the time, mate. I wish I had the time. I have made a couple of thousand since Christmas after breaking my ankle and being off work, and now I would rather do that than overtime. That's quality, mate. And that's the beauty of cards, having this, being able to have this secondary income. But again, you've got to ride these waves of the market being up, the market being down, the market being left, the market being right. But if you're willing to sell at a certain price, you will always sell. You just got to be smarter about buying than selling, if that makes sense, because someone will always buy something pretty much. Like, obviously there's cards that people won't touch for a quid, but most cards, Pedri's, Bellingham's, Beckham, Saka, there's always going to be a buy for it at a certain price. You've just got to make sure that you've paid a lower price than what you're willing to sell it for, than what you're about to sell it for. It's finding the deals and having the time to flip. 100%. Work smarter, not harder. I like that, Greg. Hi, mate. Maximus, hello, sir. Evening from sunny Portugal today. Hello, evening. Whereabouts in Portugal? Madeira is my place. Been a few times with the missus. Absolutely love Madeira. Hopefully get there again. Maybe this year. Will you find out a form for your own sub? I don't know, I don't know. That's a good question. I was thinking that. Do you know what? I was thinking that, Ronnie. I was like, I might have to have a word with Ronnie. Ronnie, I've got this submission. This person's not filled in a form. Any help on price for my Boubacar Kamara Obsidian Contra SGC 10? Jeez, that's a mouthful. Boubacar Kamara. Don't know who he is. Not gonna lie to you. Boubacar Kamara. Let me Google that. Let me see if he rings a bell. Ooh, defensive midfielder from Marseille. Not gonna lie, I don't think it's gonna sell for that. I wouldn't even have a price range for that, because I stay away from defensive midfielders, especially defensive midfielders from the French league. If he gets a move, and again, if this talks of him moving to a Premier League club, Barcelona, wherever, then yeah, it might rise a bit. But I always compare stuff like that to, if you think of the best defensive midfielder in the game, many say Kante, whether historic, promising. Remember Billy Gilmore was in that mold as a young rookie defensive mid, did well at the Euros, and then for me, people was like, oh, actually, he's a defensive mid. So then his prices come down. So I think because he's a defensive mid, I think that just hurts him. Again, he might not be. That was just a Wikipedia answer. I have no idea who he is. So I can't really say. His prices might be mental at the moment. I know, like Nuno Mendes for PSG, his prices were crazy for a while. I've actually got I think a 10 auto of his from that Alphonso Davies set. Hi, Aaron. Now is definitely not the time to sell. Definitely not the time to sell. People panic selling is a cause of the decline. Jake. I agree with that. And again, it's what everyone's attitude is to it. Again, it always leads back to the point: what are you trying to do? Right? If you need desperately to sell, to make some money for something, then you're gonna have to accept 50%, 60% of what the last comp may be. If you're not in a rush to sell, like I said, I was speaking to someone earlier today. I was like, people are only experiencing the downside of the market if they need, not necessarily if they need to sell, but if they're looking to sell. That's when they're experiencing it. Like I said, I'm not really sold that. I've really not sold that much for a while, which I need to change. I need to at least look at comps and what things are selling for. But a lot of people are kind of, like you said, panic selling, because is this the lowest it's going to go? Is it going to go any lower? For me, it's going to go lower in terms of today's price and tomorrow's price, because I think we still got a while to go till the season starts. Again, it happened last year, so I think prices are in this range for a reason. I do think it'll go up. I think we've got the World Cup coming. I think the season's coming. The start of the season's going to come soon. This is obviously in terms of football. So yeah, so my strategy, as I've said, is I'm going to grade cards. So when the market does do an upturn, I'm ready. I'm ready to sell these cards. These here, these are ready to go. When the market starts to go up, or if this is the new normal, and I'll sell at today's prices. But that's it. In Lagos. Well, I hope you're enjoying it, mate. My father took us all here as a family when we found out he's terminally illness. So have a very fun. Nice one. That's cool, man. Yeah, I hope you're having a really nice time. The new Villa signing, signed for Villa. He's at Aston Villa. So yeah. I mean, anyone, like I said, it's very hard coming up with prices for people who are not in the desirable positions, because it's a very specific market. It's more for a collector, maybe someone who collects contras, maybe someone who collects new Villa players now and wants his rookie card. It's a very specific market. So to find a comp, or to find a price, which I'm guessing one of the reasons why you're asking, because there's probably not many comps, SGC comps, contras of Boubacar Kamara. So it's very hard to even compare it to something similar. And it will always be, because defensive midfielders are just not attractive enough to warrant a place in the market to say, yep, he's value between X and Y. It's just that it's unfortunate, because I think there's, like I said, defenders don't get enough love. Keepers definitely don't get enough love. But that's not what sells at the end of the day, Yeah. Comps still annoying me a bit, especially on Facebook. If everyone goes off comps, how do prices rise again? I think, and it's a great question, Aaron. Like, I think, it will just happen. Like, we see it happen. And so what I mean by that is, like, we see it happen. If Haaland scores a hat trick on his debut for Man City, if Darwin Nunez scores a hat trick for Liverpool on his debut, the chances are that comp is gonna go up. That yesterday's price is not today's price, and everything in the sports card market, especially, is reactive. It's offer reaction. Something needs to happen. There needs to be a catalyst for change to happen. When nothing's happening in the season, there's no catalyst. What there is transfer news. So the transfer could be the catalyst. Everyone's talking about Darwin Nunez now. Like, Darwin Nunez comps 3 months ago, and not Darwin Nunez comps today. So there has to be some sort of reaction. There has to be some sort of catalyst to start that trend. So whoever's the first person is going to lose out, but whoever's the 10th person in selling that specific card, they're gonna prosper. And then again, maybe the 20th person, he might not be in that right position. He or she might not be in that right position, because then it might start to come down. It will peak and then it will drop, as kind of everything goes. Unless there's a lot of people wanting that specific card and it's on bids and goes higher, I struggle to see how the price is when everyone wants everything below comps. And that's the thing. Everyone's like, again, because it's a secondary market, you never want to pay full price, because you never know You never know want to pay the price that it is because you never know if that's the price, especially if the intention is that you want to sell it after. If the intention is you want to sell, um, if the intention is that you want to sell, like you don't want to pay comps because if that's the comp, then you're not going to get that price. You need it to be lower than the comp so you can make money if you then decide to sell. 'Cause you don't know that that price isn't going to be the actual price for that play. It could go down as well as it could going up, as well as it going up. WC WC will hype the market. If the US market does pick up on soccer, you could see insane returns in the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah, agree, mate. Often, even though I don't always like his content, some of it's decent. Jeff Wilson, so the soccer card investor. Um, I was listening to his show a few days ago, and one of the guys on the show, um, which is correct because I've done it before. Is I say correct like I'm right. I mean when I say he's correct, I mean I've done it and I could see the trend. So we looked at Google Trends, and there's usually a correlation between a peak in a trend on Google and a player's price rising. Same with the World Cup. There's trends in World Cup year, and there has been since 2014. There's been a peak in interest in soccer, in football. So that then leads to an interest in soccer cards, um, football cards. So there'll be a peak that I think that's without question. There's gonna be a peak, and I think the interesting thing about this year is there's a lot more. It seemed like there's a lot more celebrities. There's a bit more hype in terms of football cards, soccer cards. Fanatics are now in the business. PSA are gonna have low end cards. Yeah, PSA are gonna have low end cards which we've not seen for years. So there's a lot happening that for me shows that there's going to be a significant upturn in the market. Again, just my personal opinion, but I think there's going to be an upturn in the market because of World Cup, because of lower pricing, because of hopefully greater access to product. That comes on to the Fanatics deal. Fanatics have um there's rumors. I don't know if it was confirmed, but there's rumors that Fanatics who bought Tops, apparently they're looking to buy Panini as well. They are they are looking to cut distribution to their distributors. So it's going straight to retail, or they might sell it directly on the shop. It means they'll make a higher margin on the stock, but it won't be as high a market if it had to go through another middle person to go to you. So that's interesting, and again, that will only help the end consumer, the customer. So we could see cheaper pricing, whilst also being able to submit it at cheaper pricing, while also having more people interested in sports cards. So I think there's a lot to go in its favor of an upturn in the market. So that's why me personally, I'm grading as many cards as I can now. So if there is this peak around August, September, October time, I'm going to be ready. I'm literally going to have 200, 300 slabs there, um, just waiting to pump them out into the market, and hopefully at least 2-3x the money that I spent on buying the cards, but also um, the cost of grading submissions too. Yeah, however, Sergio Aguero PSA 10 contra impossible to price. Yeah, Aguero's another one who just does not get the love that he deserves. Like, it's ridiculous the love that he doesn't get. But again, that's another one where maybe in 5-10 years, once people appreciate him a bit more, one of the greatest ever Premier League strikers, one of the greatest ever strikers, period. Then there'll be hopefully I'm not going to say significant, but there'll be a rise in his prices because I think he's well underpriced. Again, same as Kevin De Bruyne. Speaking of contras, bought the Vinny Junior Vitreous contra for £8.50 when he wasn't on form. Sold for 110. Wish I held it for a bit longer. Worth at least double that now. Again, that's the beauty of the market. That is the beauty of the market. I am fuming because when I came into it, I wanted to collect Vinny Junior, and I had a load of Vinny Juniors. Then he had this dip for like one season, and he just wasn't doing anything, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's nothing. He's not going to do anything." And then he's just been absolute fire this season, and yeah, I'm fuming that I've not capitalized on the. I had one of his autos somewhere. I've not capitalized on that. Oh no. Yeah. So yeah, again, the beauty of the market, £8.50. Now you've made so much more because of it. Beautiful. There's deals to be had. There is. Yeah, I suppose everyone pricing cards higher on eBay, and as soon as one gets bought, the company rises. The comp rises. Yeah, absolutely. This is why I think SGC is the best to grade with, because someone could reslab at PSA and make a bit of money themselves. Brilliant. Matt, that's another good point. Like, that's another good point. Like, people, okay, for instance, let's see what I've got. Yeah, let's say this one for now. People will see that, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't. So there's edge peel at PSA. This grade's about a 7 or 8 at the moment. But my point is this is a card where CSG are tougher graders than PSA. So someone may see this and think, do you know what? I can crack this and send it to PSA, and it might get a 9. If it gets a 9, I might be able to sell it for 20% more. Not to say that will happen with this card. Again, no idea what the price is. Whatever. I'm just using it as an example. Is that, like Matt's just said, people who do this more full time look for the opportunities. I bought this for literally the exact same reason. Ansu Fati Sapphire rookie, Sapphire 9. That potentially could get a 10 at PSA. So once I crack that, potentially get a 10, and I would make, I think when I worked it out, as an extra $100. No, what I worked out I would make way more, even if it got a PSA 9 than it would a 10. For when I bought it, I bought that like 3-4 months ago. So people see that opportunity as well. So again, yeah, you can. I've only graded that for £12.50. So the profit I'm going to be looking at is going to be less than if I had sent it to PSA. The person might want to send it to PSA. They might be willing to take the risk. So absolutely, SGC and PSA are replaced. Because again, let's say SGC, for instance, SGC are definitely stricter. So if you get a 10 in SGC, you crack and resubmit to PSA, the likelihood is you're gonna get a 10. You're gonna get a 10 at PSA, just because by definition of the grading scale on SGC compared to PSA, it's harder to get a 10. I'm not even on about the pristine 10, just a gem mint 10. It's harder to get a 10 at SGC than it is at PSA. So yeah, there's definitely, if you know how to, that's how you play the market. Like, I know people who buy 9s, 9.5s in SGC, crack, submit to PSA, boom, 10. You've literally 2-3x your money because of that. So there's different things that you can do in this market, which again, really I want to try and get more into that and do more of that to try and increase my the amount of cards that I have when I'm selling, but then also increase. I don't even know what I'm saying. I forgot what my point was. I was trying to style it out and try and remember, but that it didn't work. Fuck. I can't remember what I was saying. But yeah, that is a strategy in terms of cracking slabs, sending them to PSA for the chance to get something of a higher value. I know loads of people that have done it and done it very successfully. I think Alex does it a lot. Kardashians, I think he cracks a lot. So again, it's definitely a good strategy to have. Got to have, not necessarily you've got to have the eye, but the good thing about BGS, which is another play, is they do subgrades. And if you get the right subgrades, so with BGS, you're looking for a good subgrade in surface and corners. You get a good grade in surface and corners. The likelihood is it's going to get a good result at PSA or a better result at PSA if you crack and resubmit. And then the difference in price could be really good. So again, it's willing to, if you're willing to take that risk, then that is a very good option. Mickey's on his way out. Yeah, he's not doing well, bless him. What's your thoughts on PSA now lowered seals? I only now got my cards back from November 2020. I know it's bad, isn't it? Thoughts on lower PSA? It's a game changer. It really is. It's a game changer. Most of the people who are in sports cards now only had maybe a month or two. So most of the newer guys only had a month or two at the lowest pricing, and as Liam said, only now just got the cards back. So realistically, none of us have experienced, who were 2-3 years into it, none of us have experienced this low pricing, and in terms of having slabs in hand, this lower option now gives us the chance to, yeah, it's still 3-4 months till we get them back. But if you think about it, again, the season doesn't start till August. Spanish season, I think, does it start in September or late August? It starts later than the Premier League anyway. So we're 2-3 months out anyway. So if you grade your cards now, by the time they come back, there shouldn't have been that much change in the structure. Not like a year when a price has tanked over a year. Now, it makes more sense to grade as many cards as possible, get ready for the season, get ready for the upturn. That option is now available with lower PSA because most people want PSA. At the end of the day, PSA grade 900,000 cards a month, SGC 90,000 cards a month. There's a reason for it. So with them doing lower end cards now, it's going to be an absolute game changer. So even though there's something I like on each of the grading card companies, I would say that lower end option is gonna be really interesting to see how the others react and if there is going to be a change in volume. I don't think there is because of the volumes. I think people like CSG. I think people like SGC definitely. BGS is going to be interesting to see how they cope over the next few months. But yeah, those are lower end PSA I think is going to be a very good move for a lot of people, especially if they get the cards in at the right time. Like I said, I'm sending a load of older stuff this month, plus some modern, some like late 90s, early 2000s, and some modern into PSA. Now mixture of PC stuff and stuff that I want to sell, but it's a very good play. Thank you. When are you expecting the PSA regular sub to be in hand? Can't wait to see the reveal video. I think they're doing tomorrow or Thursday. Tomorrow or oh no, when did I get the grades? No. Sorry, I think I've only just recently got the grades. So many subs outstanding. I think I've only recently got the grades. I think they have been shipped. So but maybe early next week, either at the end of this week, I will have them for the sub reveal, or the beginning of next week. So it'll be like Friday or Monday, I want to say. I did pay £8 a card. Yeah, again at the card at the time, it was super cheap. It was super cheap. And hopefully I know they wanted to get down to a lower price point, so it'll be interesting to see where it actually ends up. PSA lower tier, the graded club. Given economy, PSA is like 4 months. Do you not think the value is realistically 6? No, I actually don't. I actually believe in what they're saying. If I'm being honest, I actually think that um their backlog is ending. So you got to think that they've gone from like 12 million cards last year to March last year, 12 million, 16 million in the backlog to now zero. They grade 1 million cards a month. They need the cards in the backlog to keep the people happy, to keep the staff in the jobs, basically. So that's why there's no limits to it. That's why there's no limits to the amount of cards you can sub. Whereas the economy, because the backlog at the beginning of this year was like still like 8 million, but they managed to absolutely storm through that. So once the backlog's gone, economy will get faster, whereas then value will get faster because they'll need to keep these cards being churned out. They need to, maybe even for the investors, they need to hit this million cards, 900,000, 800,000 cards a month. So they need cards in the system for that to happen. So I actually do think they did say 3 to 4 months. I think it'll be closer to 4 months. But again, they're saying that there's only 2 million left outstanding. They might only be like 100,000. So it may be quicker. But I do think because they've come out and specifically said you'll get your cards back. They did a podcast, and I'm pretty sure they said you're gonna get your cards back if you submit now. September, October time. So I do think it will be this year. So that's why it's a play for me. That's why I'm going to send in quite a few cards, because on the off chance that that does happen, and I've got cards that are 30 quid a card, 30 quid to grade, and I can flip them for 300-400, it's a no brainer to me. Do you know where the economy sub from April is at, mate? Yeah, the economy subs. I think it's 9 weeks at PSA now. If my maths are correct, it's 9 weeks at PSA. So they've got another 3 weeks. It's still in grading. But so is the May sub. So the one after uh the April one, they're both in the same. They're both in the same stage. They're both at grading. So I think over the next, it's so for the economy one, they say 12 weeks. We're at 9 weeks, so technically they still got another 3 weeks. I think we were spoiled at the beginning because they were really fast. Like they were coming back really fast, the economy. But again, they've got a turnaround time. I think they're going to start sticking closer to the turnaround time. So we've got like another 3 weeks before we see any. I think before we're going to see any movement. I think they're going to try and stick to. If it's say 3 months, it's going to be 3 months. So. Yeah, it should be back by the show. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that they're going to be back by the show, which will be cool. Very cool. You're still going answering questions from 1820. I'm actually doing pretty decent today, Martin. I think I'm caught up. Okay, midfielders, that does make sense. Hope you're right. I hope I'm right too. I'll be fuming if it's 6 months. Miss the World Cup if it's 6 months. So my aim is, like, again, this month and next month to probably grade maybe 100, 200 cards, maybe at PSA, and definitely next month's one will be more of things that I'm gonna send to the World Cup. I'm gonna grade for the World Cup. Hoping that they're gonna be back within 4 months, 3 months, or whatever, the 90 days. So then it's round about that World Cup time, and then boom, selling. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, why are you doing this to me? Logging me out of my chat. And there we go. Okay, mate. Nice one. Hoping to have them back by the show. What are your thoughts on Frankie De Jong and an investment? Oh no, I've got a Frankie De Jong card somewhere. Oh, yeah, there it is. I was literally looking at this before the show, and I was gonna come on. I was like, gonna ask people what they thought. Like, I got this 46, 49. Again, he was like when the hobby was for the newer people a few years ago. Uh, all the rage was Mateus de Ligt and Frankie De Jong. He's decent. He's decent. He's just not set the world alight, has he? Again, everything for me when buying and selling revolves around the news. Like if people aren't talking about him, people in the hobby aren't talking about him, the likelihood is not going to sell well. People talk constantly about Jude Bellingham, now Darwin Nunez, Pedri, Gavi. If people are talking about him, then they're gonna do well in the hobby. They're gonna sell well. So it makes them a better investment prospect because you need to be in the in the mouths of the people that are going to buy them. Again, this hobby is filled with people who probably don't watch football as much, don't know the sport as well. So you're then only going to go off who the prospects people are talking about. People are talking about in content, in shows, in podcasts, on news reels, on highlight reels. You're only going to go for those people. So at the beginning, Frankie De Jong was like one of the most sought after young players, and then now he's kind of just dwindled. Obviously, Barcelona over the last 2 years have not been great, so that's not helped. But there's a chance. But again, he could be one of the players that you can buy for pennies now, and then in a year or two, or next season, he may set the world alight and become one of the greatest midfielders that there is. You never know. But if you like him as a player, if you watch him, if you like him as a player, start buying him. Because he's you look at the attributes of why you buy players and why you invest in players. He's at Barcelona, plays for the national team. There's World Cup coming up. He's young. It's got the aspects of why people would like to invest in a player like him. But it just at the moment it's just not being talked about enough. So that's kind of my thoughts on Frankie. I hope he does well because I won't mind selling this card for £300 if anyone wants to buy it. So yeah, that's kind of. I love when I actually I had nothing to say when I came on and it's been an hour and a half. I didn't. I never know where the conversation's gonna go. But you got me away from the grading club for an hour and a half, which I actually thank you for. It's nice to do something different. I'm gonna actually try and do more with investing in soccer and investments and collections and stuff that I'm buying and selling. Hopefully, because I enjoy it like more than anything. I'm a person who I love data. I love logic. I love the reasons why people are buying and selling. I love trying to make an extra quid or two. So I'm gonna continue, to do that. Well, I'm gonna start doing that more. Yeah, more so. I'm gonna start doing that, and it'll be more structured. So I don't know when I'm gonna start it. I do want to start it within the next few weeks. But again, kind of World Cup prep, season prep. So look out for that. I say that I probably won't, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, past. I'm gonna leave it there for this evening. Hope you all have a very good night. Don't forget to submit if you've got a Gorilla Ships order, or you got cards at your Gorilla Ship and you're wanting them to some cards to put on the this month's submission. Let me know. Because at the very least we need that form filled in by the end of the week. There's quite a number of services where if you are going to the London Card Show, the cards will be back by the London Card Show. So have a look. I think I've got a post out at the moment what explains which of the services. But then you'll be able to get them in hand and also quicker. So let's say CSG, the bulk service, it'll actually be quicker. It's going to be a quicker service. So within it's going to be 5 weeks now. In 5 weeks, you'll have got your cards back from CSG, which is awesome. So yeah, that's it from me. Hope you all have a good evening. If you need me, message me. I'll try and get to you, but there's always a few messages and I never get round to doing straight away, but I will try my best today to answer as many messages as possible. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. And yeah, have a good evening, guys. Enjoy your tea. I don't know what I'm having yet, by the way. I usually say what I do, but I don't know what it is. So have a good evening, and I'm sure I'll catch up with a lot of you soon. See you later, guys. Bye.